Hi everybody and welcome back. It's really windy today, but we haven't given you a homestead tour in a while, and we have some updates for you on our animals and things that have just been going on here. So we're not going to talk much right now, but if you want to come along, we're going to feed the animals and just visit with you while we do.
Alrighty. Take care of old Steve down here, the donkey. It was funny. I was getting his feed. He decided to try to get a little good sniff, and he popped himself on the fence. So now he's upset. He ran down there. So we just had some fantastic company come out just recently. We had Darren from Down Under Farm and Forge. We had Terry, his fiance, from
City Girl, Country Heart.
Yeah, City Girl, Country Heart. Their and her kids, Antonio and Amanda, which Amanda is always loving Steve. You should have saw it when she was trying to get him to give him a piece of cob corn, and she was kind of holding it at the very end, you know, thinking, you know, Steve was going to bite her, but, you know, Steve's not going to. He's just going after that corn. And then on top of that, we also had Michael and Bobby Jean from MB Heritage, and their kids,
Hemi and Marley.
That's right. My memory's not that great, but fantastic group. All came out, you know, they're going to come out and do, you know, they helped us out do a couple of things, but we were really trying to just focus on just hanging out. That's all we wanted to do. But, don't you kick me, but we ended up doing a little bit of work in the soap shop because Darren was super persistent, that's the word, to get it done, which was great help. I'll show you that here in a little bit. Is that what you've been waiting for? Yeah, but you're still just shocked about that fence? Ha! Shocked. Ha ha ha. What do you guys want? What do you guys want? So, give you a little update. We had the pigs on this one other side. Got them moved over to this side. Got the boys separated here. Females separated over on the other side on our new other project we're trying to do. Getting closer to it. But yeah, it was great having everybody come out. We didn't do any recording because, like I said, I just really wanted to just hang out and just enjoy all their company, get all their knowledge. Got a lot of great gardening tips from Michael and Bobby Jean. Great help and a lot faster help when you got somebody that really knows what he's doing. Darren was fantastic on getting my angles figured out for my stuff and got it figured out really quick. Would have took me another couple hours. Alright, so pigs go 8 bananas for a pumpkin. Man, I love a pumpkin. And luckily I've got a guy at work, Michael McGee. His kids was nice enough and donated me their leftover pumpkins that they didn't use up to give to the pigs. So it was really great and fantastic. Let's see if we can do this. You stay still. You stay still. But they fight over it, so I'm kind of going to quarter it up for them. Well,
That's not quarters.
That's not nowhere near it. Let's try this again. Hey-ya! Nah, close enough.
Better.
Do this with also not chopping my finger off. Hoya! Don't you? right, you crazy pigs. Who wants the pumpkin? Who wants the pumpkin? No, this slop. Who wants the pumpkin? Ba-boom. Ba-boom. Look at y'all go after those things. Yum, 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 yum. Hey, I gave you both each one to share, so have your own. Why y'all trying to eat off the same one? So we're back out here with Cupcake and Bella. Cupcake being Uno Mama. We lost one of the little piglets. We lost one of the little piglets due to, you know, normally there's about a 30% chance that mamas will always just plop and lay down on a piglet without it not getting out of the way quick enough. And so we lost one. And so far to our knowledge, both of those are little boys. If I'm looking at everything correctly down there. Of course, we got Tubbo there in the front. He's just a big old Tubbo. But boy, aren't they just cute. So happy we got the two little piglets coming on. They're doing pretty good. Of course, Mama hasn't said that, you know, hey, you shouldn't run from us. We're cool. You trying to get some of that pumpkin too? Mama's eating it, and you think you should get some too? Ah, look at you go at it. Look at you go at it. Gonna get some? Oh, well, your brother messed you up. Nope, you're just thinking I just want some milk. Oh, there you go. There you go. Be a big boy.
So wanted to give you a quick update on our nanny goats. I don't know if you've noticed in our videos lately, we only have the two. Phoebe, who was our other Nigerian dwarf, we lost her in a donkey accident. She got out and she crossed his path, and donkey's doing what donkeys do. He was protecting his area, and unfortunately we lost Phoebe. But we do still have Penelope and Lily. Girl, there. And they're doing really well down here by themselves, separated from the boys. We had them with the bucks for about a month, so we're hoping they're bred. We've got two of the roos down here that will be going to freezer camp soon. So we're just keeping them separated from our hens. They're a little aggressive right now. We've got one of our one Easter egger roo and our astrolop roo, and the astrolop was a little more aggressive than we intended, but they seem to be happy down here, just the two of them right now.
So yeah, this is where we had the pigs at. We moved all over that away for two reasons. Of course, that's where we had our raised beds that were surrounded around the pigs. And they did real well this year. But this is that area we wanted to kind of make the garden. But you can see, I still need to try to get something to divert water and then build the area up. So we'll probably end up doing over here is making some raised beds. And then as we keep making a couple of raised beds and trying to bring up the ground here, then that way we can eventually, once we get water kind of diverted, we can spread out all the raised bed area through here. Hopefully we've got enough build up and just make it just straight row gardening. And the other reason is I got a tree over there that's getting a little bad. It needs to come down, and so needed to get everybody out of the way before I started cutting that thing down, you know. I didn't know if they were going to dodge it when it fell down or not, so better safe than sorry, right? Come on. Well, hello, ladies. How's everybody doing? Fresh? Great job. Hey, ladies. How's everybody going? Here, chicka, 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 chicka. Well, we found out something great with our chickens, by the way. We had got some Buff Orpingtons and some Americanas that lay that little blue egg. Well, they were, of course, younger than the chickens we've had here. They grew up kind of in one of the chicken tractors as they were going, got them introduced to the rest of the chickens, and they didn't want to go back in the chicken coop at all. So we found out a good way, because we would take them and put them up at night, and then next day they'd just be right back on top of one of the chicken tractors, and they'd just sit on it. So we ended up putting them in. Next day, what's on there, Park? Next day, moved the whole coop, moved the whole fence area and everything else. So there's no chicken tractors in here with them or nothing like that. And lo and behold, they that night they all went into the coop like normal. So I guess the key is for help doing that is just take away whatever they're trying to roost on, and they'll just go right on in home. Okay, who's laying the eggs in the very back and not in the nesting boxes? Well, hello everybody. Hello everybody. What's everybody doing? What's everybody doing? Hey, Victor. Alrighty, so all the boys are getting along pretty good.
Till feeding time.
Until feeding time. Then they get all rambunctious. So here's old Victor. He's still doing pretty good. Funny as all get out though, when we first brought him home. You get back on this end so everybody else can get theirs. Get back on that end. Get back on that end. Funny because this was his area, and brought both of them over here, Pan and Odin, and all get out. Funny, he runs behind me and Shauna, puts his head between our legs, and kind of gave us this look like, help me, there's two strangers in my area. But then he figured out that he's got a bigger set of horns and he's a little stockier, and put them kind of in their place pretty quick. But they've been doing pretty good together. And then this is another little thing that I kind of did. I did these where I took those plastic totes and cut it at like an angle, because I was going to put them on top of my hay rack, but they didn't quite work as well to keep the rain off the hay rack. It was too much of a pain to get them off and on. So I ended up taking me a stick through the middle, cutting a little door out in the front, and so they got a little roosting area in there, and it's been working great for the roosters just to have a spot to go into. They've been kicking it in there because we kind of divided the roosters up so they could have some area to roam instead of being in the runs and just moving them that way. Would y'all behave? Get along. Victor, behave yourself.
What do you want? What do you want? So just a quick update on our Dexter and Dee Dee. They're doing really well. I've called to talk about getting her AI so that we can get a calf, and the vet I talked to wants to give her a little more time to see if he's actually going to do his business. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. You want this? You want this? Now Dexter's a little meaner with her. Not mean in the sense of beating her up, but he's a pig and he'll knock her out of the way of the food. So we've got a new setup we're going to do for them soon, where we're going to actually separate the two of them so that they have separate eating areas. That way they're not fighting over food. They're not, it doesn't look like they're fighting, and they're not. He'll just kind of keep pushing her to the end to where she just gives up and she'll walk out and she'll come back later to finish up. But he's definitely taking the lion's share. There she is, giving up. She'll come back later. Now when the Homesteaders came out, Michael and Bobby Jean's son Hemi helped me feed the cows and the chickens, and he was such a big help, so really appreciate them coming out. It was nice to get to visit with people. You want to see a cow run? Here, cow. Here, cow. Look at her run. Look at her run. She loves her popcorn.
All right, the little rabbit mansion down here has been doing pretty well, keeping everybody dry, and the little roll down deal's been working great. These new little makeshift feeders I made, they worked out really good. Now we did try to do a breeding not too long ago. 3 of them did not get bred. Don't know what happened there. But Fable down here on the end, she did have a litter, but took her nesting box right before we had kind of a cool night coming. She decided that she took out every bit of litter and everything that we had in there and just pulled out a little bit of fur, and so they all kind of, I guess, like, you know, froze. I mean, it wasn't, I think it only got into like the 40s or 50s or something that night, but
she took everything,
but it was enough
out
to where they couldn't stay warm.
She took everything out of the nest box.
And last time she was our best mama. So I don't know what was up with her this time. I don't know, maybe if it was moving them to a new area, she didn't feel comfortable. Could have been because we had bred her where we had her from the last place. Moved her over here, and then 2 weeks later, that's when she had her litter. So her, you know, so. Still haven't gotten my catchment underneath, but
obviously.
Yeah, but Darren and Terry, they both had a good idea of maybe just enclosing it in a little bit, throwing some worms down there, and making a nice little worm composting area.
Deep litter method.
And to, you know, then dig all that out and use that. So, I don't know, I might go with that route. Or I might just try it maybe here on the back side and try to catch the other poo on the 2 sides. What? Y'all don't like me talking? Y'all want me to hurt the feed, Joe? So, And our little cups, they've been working out great. We're not having any leaking from them that we used, so that's been great working too. So everything's been working really great after putting to this new setup. We've had a couple of cold nights with freezes, but hasn't really messed with it, you know, because I've got everything insulated and it's been working out real well. Okay, well, you can see we're now in the soaping shed quarters. Shauna's thing about griping at me to constantly try to get done. Luckily, Darren insisted to try to do something, so I was like, hey, could really use some help here. So him and Antonio came in, helped me out great, because a couple of things. When you've got one of these sheds you're trying to convert, all above this area, I didn't think anything of it. Ceiling's way up here. I didn't stud out any of this stuff going up right here. Darren walked right on in and said, you're not going to put any studs to go that way to hold the sheetrock? I was like, I would have figured it out when I got there. Which, yeah, I would have.
Thank God for a second set of eyes.
Right? And never, you know, dismiss second set of eyes. It's always great to have it. But I had to put in these extra rafters, which would have took me an hour to figure out that angle. He came in within 5 minutes and had the angle all figured out, and of course also made the actual straight cuts that I wouldn't have been able to do. No.
It's those things that you know, but you don't think about until you get to that point and you realize you messed up.
Yeah, because I would have had the sheetrock up like I've got to this point, and then went, oh, I got nothing there. But I would have probably already put this rafter board up to put the sheetrock to, and I would have probably then put these in, and then I would have tried to probably put the sheetrock in, and went, oh look, I need this other board over here too, so I can attach the sheetrock to the edge too. So, yeah, Darren, Antonio, thank y'all so much for helping us out with this. Shauna sure does appreciate it.
I do.
Because doing that got me the gumption to actually start putting this stuff up on the walls and getting it going. So it was great having all of them out here. Like I said, we've got real great planting advice and things to do from, you know, Michael and Bobby Jean, and great hanging out with all of them. It was great. Everybody, I think they said they kind of had a good time.
It was cold.
It was a little cold. We made some chili that, sorry guys, I know it was subpar. Tried to do my best, but you know.
I thought it was good.
It was something to eat, I guess, you know. Nothing to brag about, I guess, but great and fantastic. So, thanks again for coming along today. I hope that, you know, we showed you some of the things that you might have been interested in, or, you know, that we haven't mentioned in a while. If there's anything else, leave those all down below to let us know if we're missing something that you're like, hey, what about this? We'll get it to you. So, y'all have a great, wonderful one. Thanks again for coming along. Can't wait to see y'all till next time. Later.